Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of Anime Brain Freeze. We are your part-time villainous hosts.
I am John.
And I'm CC. And this is the show where we review all the anime series from the previous season we did and didn't watch start to finish. Today we have a truly heroic review for you, but first, let's head into our new segment and see what's cooking. So we're starting off the news segment with one of the best news we could possibly, talk about, I guess, and that is One Punch Man is getting a second season. Yay!
Hell yeah!
I mean, that is not the biggest surprise, really, because, the manga is still running, and we were bound to get a second season eventually, what with the first season being such a ginormous hit. But we didn't know when, and this is sooner than I expected it, considering how long we had to wait for a second season of Attack on Titan, for example, which has still not aired.
Which probably won't air until next year.
Yeah, I think it's coming either in January, either in winter or in spring season next year. So, One Punch Man 2 apparently will come pretty soon, maybe even in the same time frame. So, yeah, if Attack on Titan Season 2 and One Punch Man Season 2 hit in the same season, I'm probably gonna die due to an overload of awesomeness. But anyway, yeah, very happy to read that, to hear that. More One Punch Man is always good. Yeah, looking forward to it. John, what else do you have?
Well, in some news that seemed like it came a little bit out of left field, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is getting a live-action film, and it's not the story arc you would think.
What story arc would you think it would be?
I see, when they said, JoJo's live-action movie, I would think, probably Stardust Crusaders, because, that's the big one that most people know. But it's Diamond is Unbreakable.
See, I'm actually think it's smart for them to be going with Diamond right now, even though Stardust is probably the most popular arc. For several reasons. First of all, Diamond Unbreakable is still airing right now. I don't know exactly when they plan to release the movie, but it might still be in, people's consciousness.
Movie, it looks like the movie is slated to open next summer, so.
Yeah, okay, then it's 1 year later, maybe. But I'm pretty sure the new season of JoJo's won't have started then. I don't think so. If we get a new one, but I assume we will. But yeah, that's the first one, because it's the most recent thing. And the second thing would be that, unlike the other JoJo shows, Diamond is Unbreakable is set in the, in one location. It's one town, and it's a Japanese town. So filming that is much easier than doing a fucking show about a world tour of 4 to 5 crazy people. Going, to Egypt. So I just assume this is the easiest thing to do in terms of JoJo.
I mean, that's true, but with modern filmmaking, so much stuff is just shot on a sound stage with a green screen and CG that, I don't see it as being totally unfeasible.
No, not unfeasible. I think, doing Diamond first is an easy way to get maybe a live-action franchise or a version of that franchise going, and then maybe go back to the other chapters. And, Stardust is so popular and so well-known that people would still, go back and watch an earlier story in the timeline. It would be weird. Whoever they cast as Jotaro now would play, a younger version of himself, probably, if they ever do Stardust then. So, I don't know. I don't know how they will do it. Same goes for Joseph, so, yeah. I don't know what they will do. maybe we won't see Stardust.
I mean, if Joseph is even part of this movie, because they are calling it Diamond is Unbreakable Chapter 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, we'll see. Maybe. Oh, so okay, it's gonna be multiple ones. I wonder how many they will do. Probably 2. I guess that works with the series. Maybe 3, if we go by the number of episodes the anime is getting. I'd say there's at least like a clear 2-part cut in the middle of Diamond is Unbreakable before we, encounter the kind of main villain of the show, though that is even kind of a stretch in my opinion, but still, yeah. I guess that works. So yeah, we'll see. Probably no Kira, no Joseph in the first part. And probably not as much dog murder. One can only hope.
I would hope not. Araki, I love you, but you gotta stop.
Yeah,
you gotta stop, man.
Person, yeah. I recently, one of the newest episodes I saw. It's just amazing how Araki loves the character he the characters he creates. When his self-insert character Rohan Kishibe just sees Jotaro and Okuyasu and is like, "Is that shitbag Jotaro and the idiot Okuyasu?" It's like, well,
is that how you really feel about your own character?
Yeah, don't you love the people you populated your world with? Anyway, yeah, I'll probably watch. Check out that live action version. I'm not that fond of anime live action adaptions of anime productions and manga properties and everything, because I don't know, they tend to be not really good in my opinion. I mean, I've not seen that many. I'd have to make a list, which I didn't do. I saw a few here and there. One of the better ones was the adaptation of Rurouni Kenshin. I think that was pretty okay, actually. The fight scenes were good. The acting was tolerable. One of the worst ones was Devilman. Holy shit, that was... oh, wow. What a piece of shit. And yeah, there were a few other ones that I wasn't too fond of. So I wonder where this will go. I think it's... just in terms of what makes JoJo's great, it's kind of hard to convert it into live action, in my opinion.
I'm sure they'll find a way.
Yeah, I mean, so much about that show is about how crazy it gets and how I don't know, how weird the style of the show is and the art design and everything. That's where besides the kooky characters, where a lot of the attraction lies in that show. And I think they will have some problems, transferring some of that to the big screen. But we'll see. Mildly optimistic, but yeah, it's live action, people. We'll see what comes.
CC, are you saying that of all of the live action adaptations out there, you couldn't possibly be hype for Ghost in the Shell?
That's not even a Japanese live action version of a manga property. That's US. And yes, no. That first teaser trailer looked atrocious in my opinion. Just really cheap, really cheap for a Hollywood production, and generic. I don't know. We'll see what the critics think, but I don't have high hopes for the live action Ghost in the Shell movie.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
probably
not
gonna
so sure
bomb.
either.
So, yeah, but we'll see. I don't know, when is that coming out?
It's coming out March 31st.
So that's going to take a while. Yeah, we'll see. JoJo, the live-action JoJo movie might actually be the better one of those two, but we'll see. Anyway, yeah, other news. Crunchyroll just recently added a 13th episode, an unaired episode of Haven't You Heard? I'm Sakamoto, the show I reviewed in an earlier episode of ours. And I assumed that show was over. So I've seen that 13th episode now. And yeah, it's kind of... It's more like a bonus episode, like one of those bonus OVAs you get on Blu-rays, than an actual, like, oh, this is the real conclusion to the show. No, it doesn't feel like that at all. It's more of like... In the last episode of the show, Sakamoto basically leaves the school where he's at, and his plan is to go to America and become an astronaut. So the 13th episode is basically the other characters of the show imagining what Sakamoto is doing in America. And, oh boy, there is one part... No, there's several parts. That whole episode is super bonkers. I mean, like the whole show was, but this is wow, this is a new level of bonkers. Like, they imagine him being at NASA, or I think it's called Massa in the show because
of course,
trademark or something. I don't know. And it's just basically them in whiteface with giant noses.
Oh my god!
Basically redoing the first episode of the show where the three punks try to bully and play pranks on Sakamoto. It's just in a space training camp. So it's super dumb. And then another one imagines him actually going to Mars, and then it's a rehash of an episode just with aliens. So dumb. It's so dumb. But yeah, it's not really an ending to the show. More of a bonus episode, but it was enjoyable. So I guess if you didn't expect this to give you a proper continuation, you will enjoy it. I did. It's more dumb Sakamoto. So I can't. That was basically my short review of it. I guess because I had to add that because I thought the series was finished. Otherwise, I would have probably waited to review it. But yeah, so that's what you get out of that episode. What else do you have?
Going back to the subject of live action, apparently there is going to be a live-action Lupin the Third series centered around our good friend Inspector Zenigata.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I wonder which kind of Zenigata we'll see. More of like if he's the main character, it's probably not going to be the bumbling idiot version of Zenigata, unless they're trying a Pink Panther approach. I'm not sure. That's interesting. But did they say if, Lupin will have a cameo in it?
The article on Anime News Network doesn't explicitly say so, but I wouldn't doubt if we see our favorite thief somewhere in there.
Yeah. So interesting. When is that coming out?
It will debut in 2017, so next year. Mark your entire calendar.
Really feels like Japan is ramping up their live-action adaptions of anime these days. We just talked about JoJo's, then now this, Lupin, and recently, which caught me off guard, which you brought to the table too, was the live-action adaptation of Bleach, which comes before a new season of the anime, which is weird to me. So, I don't know, I guess these movies make money. I don't have the numbers here or anything, but they wouldn't be doing them if, they don't work out. I think, didn't they do a live-action TV series of pet labor? Is that out? I don't know. But I think they were doing one.
That sounds familiar. I know, I think there was like a reboot or like some sort of remake or something coming up, but...
I definitely remember that being a thing. I just don't know if it has aired yet or if it's still, coming up. But yeah, if you like your Japanese live-action stuff, I guess you're in for a treat in the coming years because apparently there's a lot of stuff coming.
Yes, I mean, these seem to be on the rise as well as what seem to have been coming and going are like the stage plays of certain things. Not only of anime, but of certain games and whatnot have gotten like stage plays as well. So I guess those must be popular too.
I've never seen one of those. Well, I think I saw a YouTube clip of something, but I don't remember which one that was. But yeah, you're right. Those seem. I think it was the Phoenix Wright one.
Mm.
Yeah. So they're doing that of games too. So sure.
If it works, it works, question mark?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I can't speak for the quality of those because I've never seen one in full, and it's not exactly my field of interest, I guess. But yeah, maybe those are good. I don't know. If you've seen one of those and want to chime in on it, please write us an email or leave us a comment and tell us what your favorite stage play of an anime is. We would be interested in hearing about that. Yeah. But yeah. The other small thing I just want to mention here, again, this is turning into the live action brain freeze whatever thing, but yeah, apparently in the US at least they're reissuing the old ass Guyver movies.
Really?
Yes. So for people who don't know what Guyver is, I don't blame you, because it's an old ass manga from the 80s that it's still running. What even? I came in contact with Guyver through the old 90s OVA, which is like this hyper-violent, very, very blood-drenched thing of a guy who basically dons an alien armor and fights like these giant-ass monsters who live undercover in human society. And yeah, bio-boosted armor Guyver. I liked it. I liked the design of the armor and everything. And yeah, there were live action movies of that. I never saw the first one in full, I think, because that starred Mark Hamill weirdly enough, though not as the main protagonist. I think he plays a cop or something. But yeah, Mark Hamill is in that. And that movie was very like super trashy. Not good fight scenes or anything. Like the monster suits are cool. Basically, it's like an adult in quote version, more gory version and violent version of a tokusatsu show like Kamen Rider or something, in terms of feel and everything. I never saw the first one fully. It was called Mutronics when it came out in the West, I think, at first. The second one, Guyver 2 Dark Hero, I actually watched on TV by accident. I didn't know that, it was Guyver back then. Actually, that one was the first, not the OVA. So I saw that one, and then I saw the OVA. Right. So yeah, I didn't know what Guyver was back then. I saw the movie first, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was like, again, it's like violent adult in quotes again, tokusatsu stuff. But the second one has really cool fights, like really, really nice kung fu action. I don't know, cool weird monster costumes, and cool, like I said, cool fight scenes. I don't know, I enjoyed it. I liked the second Guyver movie quite a lot, actually. It's super trashy, but I don't know, if if you like trashy kung fu shit with monsters and everything, maybe check it out when those movies get re-released. I wouldn't recommend the first one. Because it doesn't even have value in the fighting scenes. But the second one is good. Is a decent action movie in my opinion. Story sucks, but the action is decent. Fight choreography is pretty damn cool, and like I said, the Guyver costume is pretty neat as well. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Just want to mention that quickly. This was weird. I don't know. Weird quirky thing that I enjoyed when it came out. And yeah, maybe you will too.
Yeah, I mean, I only have a cursory knowledge of Guyver, so.
Yeah. I wish that TV series they did ages ago, which of course was done by Gonzo, would have been better. I really looked forward to that when it was announced, but alas, it was not really a good adaptation. And maybe whenever that manga fucking finishes, we'll get a new adaptation, maybe a decent one this time around. And please, not in CG like Berserk. Don't fucking do it. Even if the concept lends itself to it, maybe don't do it, please. Don't. I can't have this again. Don't turn one of a promising franchise into a shitty CG show.
Are you telling me you don't like your shows fully CG?
No. Fucking don't. Anyway, do you have something else?
Yeah. So I was reading that popular voice actress Megumi Toyoguchi is apparently going on hiatus because she is pregnant. So we have some good news about voice actors taking a break for once.
All right. We had like the two sick cases.
After I believe it was, I know one of them was Keiji Fujiwara, and I think the other was Rina Hidaka.
Maybe, yes. I don't remember. I'm not quite sure. But refresh my mind. What has this lady done?
Well, Miss Toyoguchi has been in about 100 million things, but
Mm.
you might know her from Black Lagoon as Revi.
Oh shit! Okay,
Yep. She
fantastic.
she was Winry in Full Metal Alchemist.
Both of them.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
she's Clan Clang from Macross Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
And the role that is probably closest to my heart, Junko Enoshima from Danganronpa.
Okay. Well, now that
Everyone's,
Danganronpa is wrapped up.
everyone's favorite redacted.
Mm-hmm. Did she star in any first season of something that she might now skip out on? Are you familiar with the most current work she has done? So that she has to be recast for something that's coming up in the future.
I mean, the most current stuff would probably be Danganronpa, but that's all. I firmly believe her role in that has concluded. I mean, she was Yukari in pretty much every incarnation of Persona 3, but I mean, I believe what was the final movie just came out, so that should be all wrapped up. The only other thing that I could really think of off the top of my head is she's one of the characters in Senran Kagura, and they're announcing a new game next week, so we'll find out about that in time.
Okay, we'll see. But she will return eventually. I assume.
Of course.
So yeah, popular voice actresses. That happens often enough. I mean, I've seen news of taking breaks due to pregnancy, and I'm glad they actually are allowed and able to do that. You never know how certain companies handle this kind of thing. But if you're popular enough, apparently you still always get work afterwards. So.
I'm sure there's something in their contracts with their agencies that allows them to do so.
Yeah, I really hope so.
To take sick leave or leave for childbirth and caring for your child.
You never know with Japan. I mean, I remember those headlines of that one case where one person working at an anime studio basically worked himself to death because he was taking massive overtime, no sick leave and everything. So yeah, and I don't know if he killed himself or if he died of exhaustion or something. I think he killed himself because of it. Whatever. But yeah, you hear stuff like that and you're like, okay, maybe not all is just hunky dory over there when it comes to work conditions sometimes or work ethics. So yeah, I'm always happy to hear that people can take their due time for their personal life and for recuperation, everything, and then just get back to their job and do awesome things, and do more awesome voice work in this case. So I guess we're gonna wish her all the best, and for a quick return to give us more awesome stuff like her role in Black Lagoon and Full Metal Alchemist, which I greatly enjoyed. All right, got anything more?
Last thing's a quick one. Not really a headline that I can pull from, but Regalia returned a few weeks back, yes. And the first actual new episode aired this past week. And because I'm crazy, I watched the new versions of the episodes alongside the old versions of the episodes just to see what had been changed and what's different, and it does look a degree better than it did before.
Do we have any examples at hand?
I am going to provide a gallery of screenshots showing, the changes.
On our homepage?
Yes, wherever
okay.
we want to make it available.
Yes. Okay. So you will find a collection of comparison screenshots for the improvements that were made for Regalia on animebrainfreeze.com.
If not, I'll just take some screen caps myself because that's no big deal.
All right. Yeah. We will. I don't know. Should we? We'll see if we add that to the actual review of the show, but that's probably going to be long, so we might just add it to this episode as a news, thing, or a special blog post on our site. We'll see, but you'll find it there. Just go to animebrainfreeze.com and we will have something for you in that regard if you're interested. I think it's always interesting to see. I like the comparison charts between TV versions and Blu-ray versions to see how many keyframes they fixed and everything or added. Like I said, go to our homepage and then John will provide.
Mm-hmm. I will do my best.
All right. And with that, I think we're out of the news and go right into our big and only review this episode. In the universe of My Hero Academia, most of mankind has developed superpowers called Quirks. 80% of the population, to be exact. So obviously there are a bunch of superheroes and villains around, and the protagonist of the show, Izuku Midoriya, who sometimes goes by the name Deku, a derogative term used by one of the assholes on the show. Well, he has been a giant fan of superheroes since his earliest childhood, so his big role model is the strongest hero of them all, called All Might. And Midoriya's biggest wish is to someday become a superhero like his idol. But destiny often plays a cruel hand, so he, of course, turns out to be part of the 20% of the population who don't have any quirks. So basically, his life gets turned upside down, and even though his life goals get shattered, he doesn't give up, though. Learns everything there is to know about the existing heroes, writes it all down in his, many notebooks that he has. He also studies hard at school, and at the beginning of the show, he plans to take the entry exam for the most prestigious superhero school in Japan, even though, he has no powers and everything. So, and as fate twists, once again for Midoriya, this time in his favor, he actually, by chance, meets his big idol who offers to prepare him for the harsh tests that await the young budding hero at his new school. So yeah, that's the setup for My Hero Academia, or Boku no Hero Academia. And it's one of my favorite shows of the season we're talking about right now, I guess. Or maybe my most favorite show. I don't know. It's produced by Studio Bones, which, we've mentioned several times. I don't even know. At a certain point, we probably don't need to mention the studio, the studios anymore and what they did. Or at least not what they did. But on the other hand, every episode is someone's first episode. So I don't know.
Considering how much we talk about Bones and our love for them.
Yeah. But still, in case you don't know what Studio Bones did. They did, for example, Full Metal Alchemist. They did Wolf's Rain. They did Cowboy Bebop, even though it was still Under the Sunrise moniker back then. But it basically was the same team that later became Studio Bones, so we'll count that. They did John, name a few other ones. My brain is full with holes.
They did not one that we were particularly fond of, but they did Bungo Stray Dogs.
Name the good ones.
All right. Ones that we enjoyed. Concrete Revolution.
I did, yes.
Captain Earth,
yes.
Chaika, the Coffin Princess.
Mostly, yes.
Darker Than Black.
Yes. So, bunch of shit. Studio Bones. Wasn't it Blood Blockade Battlefront also by Bones?
Yes, it was. How could I forget? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Speaking, I was really... After we finished recording last week, I was like, I should have, in regards to confusing things that are fun nonetheless, in terms of, because of Concrete Revolution, I should have mentioned Blood Blockade Battlefront, because to me that was also one of the most confusing shows I've seen in recent years, but I still enjoyed it, so...
That's true, but I still feel like it was easier to follow.
Really? You think so? Okay, so yeah, I would disagree on that. I had more problems following Blood Blockade Battlefront than I had problems following Concrete Revolution. That's weird, at least in some parts. because there was even more on the screen in that show. But anyway, this is not about Blood Blockade Battlefront. Maybe if that gets a second season, we'll talk about that. But yeah, Bones has done a lot of stuff, and not always. Like I said in Concrete Revolution, the animation was a mixed bag in there, but usually you can expect a pretty high quality level in terms of animation from Bones, and and My Hero Academia is no exception for that, because that show looks pretty damn great. A very colorful show, very nice effects everywhere, a very fluid animation, fantastic fight scenes for those that are in there, and great choreography, everything, camera work. Yeah, it's a really good looking show in my opinion. It really pops. It's really vivid. Yeah, I like the production on the show quite a lot.
Definitely. It was... it seems like lately there's been shows where I've been, kind of like... whatever. I'm not super interested, but I'll tune in, maybe watch the first episode. But this was one of those shows, and it just kind of grabbed me right away, just because I really liked Deku. I really liked his character because he knows what he wants, and even though he doesn't have that natural God-given talent that most of the other population does have, he wants to work for it. He wants to make it his own, and I think that makes him really likable and interesting. That he finds a way to make that happen.
Yeah, and it's at first it's just writing down everything he can learn about superheroes, and that comes easy to him because he's just such a big fan of superheroes. So that's a natural thing. And not leaving it at that, but saying, "Hey, I got no quirks, but I still wanna, be a hero, maybe with no powers, or I wanna at least enroll in this at the school and meet all of the heroes and do everything I can to help them." So he's definitely a cool character, super sympathetic, super relatable, and you just want to see where he goes, where his way leads. So yeah, a great character, and we get to the other characters later on. The show is based on a manga by Kohei Horikoshi, and he has written and drawn two other series, Barrage and Omagadoki Zoo, which I have not read or heard about. So I'm wondering if they weren't a bigger success, or if My Hero Academia is just more mainstream, so that they put that into anime first. Maybe those other series got converted to anime, and I don't know about it, but I don't think so, because I think My Hero Academia is the only thing mentioned in his credits where it says TV version by the side of it. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll check out his other series too, because I really liked his work in this one. And the manga is still running. There's more to come, which I'm really happy about. And I wonder about how the pacing is in the manga, but because it's a bit of a mixed bag in the anime, but we'll also get to that later. First, let's get the rest of the staff out of the way. That sounds harsh. Anyway, show is directed by Kenshi Nagasaki, who has done Classroom Crisis. I think you watched that, John, didn't you?
That's a great show. He also directed the first season of Gundam Build Fighters, which is also super hype.
Yeah, I've heard you and another friend of ours constantly rave about Gundam Build Fighters. I don't know why I never got into that. I like Gundam, I guess because I'm not a big fan of Gunpla. So, or because not a big fan. It sounds like I am dissing it or something. I'm just not interested in it. But you say it's enjoyable.
Build Fighters is one of those shows where that same mutual friend of ours was like, "Dude, we totally have to watch this." And I was like, it's just going to be, one big ad for the model kits.
That's what I expected too.
Which is at its core what it was. But goddamn if it wasn't great, because it had really cool fight scenes. It had throwbacks to so many other Gundam series. Hell, even one of the main characters who trains up the others it's totally not Ron Baral, not at all.
Okay.
Down to the same voice, by the way.
So if you're a Gundam fanboy and for some reason haven't yet watched the Build Fighters yet, I guess you should, is what John is saying. All right. Maybe I will get to it eventually too. I don't know. Is that still getting new seasons? I know the third one was the last one that aired, if I remember correctly.
Well, there weren't 3 seasons. There was like a special a few weeks back that tied in to the second season.
Okay. All right. So that's what it was.
Yeah.
Shows you what I know. Anyway, Build Fighter is not the only Gundam thing he worked on, though. He was an episode director of Gundam on Gundam 00 and H. Yeah, one of those shows is good. The other one, not so much.
I still think Age gets a bad rap. But Age was also immediately followed by G-Reco, so that might have recolored my opinion a bit.
Yeah, I was about to say that probably I only put up with G-Reco for like 2 episodes and was like, nope, I'm out. So at least I lasted until the 3rd arc for Age. I don't know why I dropped out then, because I heard wasn't it supposed to be the best one, the last one?
No, I feel like the second was the best because even though the third does have its moments, the end of the show is ultimately kind of not great. But like, how can I say this? It's like Mass Effect. You play through it, you have a great time, you get to the end, and it just kind of fizzles out.
It's very blah, yeah. Okay, not a satisfying conclusion then. And the other thing I would like to mention is he was an episode director on Monster, a show I very much enjoyed. And speaking of live action adaptations, this should get a live action adaptation not in Japan but over here.
I'm surprised it hasn't.
Well, I think Guillermo del Toro wanted to do one, but yeah, he has tried to do a lot of projects that never came to fruition. So I guess that one isn't gonna come to fruition either. But yeah, because that is set in Germany, and
Yeah,
that would really work. But there's not even a German dub version of the anime, so I don't know. Makes no sense to me. Anyway, yeah, but he worked on that on those shows as episode director and as a storyboard artist for a bunch of other stuff, which I'm not going to mention now because it's we're getting into overtime here. But yeah, would you say that just in terms of the stuff he has directed, Build Fighters and Classroom Crisis, that My Hero Academia is the strongest work, or at least your most favorite one, or?
I'd say it's up there. I mean, I really enjoyed My Hero Academia. I'm not going to knock it, but I think we'll get into it later in this discussion, and I don't know if it's the fault of the direction, but it felt like it was going at a very labored pace.
Yeah, we get to that. For the action scenes in the show look great in my opinion. So everything around it. So I guess he did a really good job with this. Speak for his other projects.
This show does have some of that good old fashioned sakuga. So
oh yeah, definitely. Who else? Oh yeah, music by Yuki Hayashi. That is your main métier, I would say, and we already talked about him last week because of Kisniver. So yeah.
So it comes back around again to Classroom Crisis and Build Fighters.
He did the music for that too?
Yep. Also did, as you said, Kisniver, and he did the music for apparently the first and third seasons of Haikyuu.
Yes. Oh, I love the music in Haikyuu. That's one of my favorite anime soundtracks, and it's really. You actually can compare the soundtrack of Haikyuu and My Hero Academia very easily. I think they are very, very much comparable. They have like this very a lot of very, I don't know, uplifting, optimistic themes that get you pumped up, that have like this, heroic undertone to it. It's like, okay, guys, let's get it done. We can do it. We can do it. Raise your spirits. Raise your fists in the air. Yell like you don't care. Yeah. Just like that. And that doesn't only happen in Haikyuu, but also in My Hero Academia, which is why I also like this soundtrack quite a lot. I think it's fantastic. There are several moments. The most iconic one probably in episode 2, where the music just, kicks in just the right time with a fantastic heroic sounding theme, and increases the corresponding moment to the highest emotional highs, and just makes you, like I said, raise your fist in the air with a fuck yeah, it's fantastic, and so on. So yeah, it gets you riled up, and highlights the heroic spirit of Midoriya and other people in the show very well. I liked it. Felt great. Every time the music kicked in, felt great. It was just the right way. Let's get to the show itself. Just on the basic level, I feel like the show has everything I want in a good shonen action show. We already talked about the action scenes. I think they're great, but there are not that many fight scenes in the first season, actually. Everyone that is in there looks pretty great, especially the final one. Oh boy!
Oh yeah,
that's amazing. That's a way to close out of a season, people. That is one heck of a final episode. But like you already mentioned, John, the pacing in the show can be a bit slow. I hate to draw on Naruto for comparison here. I think that's the one that comes to mind immediately. You have a lot of scenes in My Hero Academia and also Naruto where characters like take a long break from the fight to analyze how to beat their opponents or something comparable, or get how to get out of hairy situations and stuff like that. Sometimes that helps building up the tension, but I for myself prefer a short, sweet fight over a prolonged one. Where the characters, stop after trading a few blows, explain their super moves to each other, then trade blows again, then stop to talk about how they will beat each other to death, then trade blows again, then stop to mock each other, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that gets a little tired.
Yeah, like I said, My Hero Academia is not as bad as an offender as Naruto in that regard, in my opinion, or current One Piece. But it's in there, like... The show sometimes feels like it's taking its sweet time to, get to a point, to an interesting confrontation, or to take the character where the character is going to go in specific, okay, this is where they're going. Why are you taking so much time for this? This is only 13 episodes. You could speed it up a bit. I mean, I appreciate the character moments because I like all of the characters pretty much. But, you're right. Sometimes it's a bit slow. I guess because there was not that much manga material to go with yet when it started. Would you say that's maybe one of the reasons? I don't know. That's what it felt like to me.
Let's see. The show started airing in April. By that point... Let's see, April 3rd. By that point, the 8th volume... hadn't yet come out. It was out the next day, actually, so we only had 7 volumes to really go on. And I haven't really looked at like a comparison of where the anime went compared to the manga, but I certainly doubt that at the pace it was going, it outpaced the manga.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think when the show aired, I was comparing one specific scene, like in the last third of the show, to the manga, just to see if that went over quicker in there. And I don't think so. I think they pretty much, they one-to-one copied the dialogue from the manga into the anime. And I think that is the same thing that bugged me about the new adaptation of Hunter x Hunter and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like when you don't take a certain amount of freedom in adapting from manga to anime, I don't know. You lose a lot of stuff. Like there's a bit of an art in faithfully adapting, but still adapting the manga material into anime the right way, so that it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't suffer. Because stuff that works on the page in terms of pacing and structure and everything doesn't necessarily work in anime if you just port it one-to-one. And the main offender for that, for me in Hunter x Hunter, was that they copy-pasted the narrator during the fight scenes for the later arc of the show. So basically, every time some character did something in the show, the narrative would like talk over it and say, and then Gon realized that this happened and his opponent was powering up and shit like that. I was like, no, stop it, don't, I can see what's happening, don't tell me what's happening. I can see why you would maybe need that in the manga, because, you know, you don't have like, I don't know, a well choreographed fight scene or everything that makes you see everything, so maybe they want to fill in the blanks or something. But you don't need to put that in the anime. Like, I can see what's happening. So that was like an example of one adaptation that didn't work out, in my opinion. Same thing for Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, though a bit different. I think some of the stuff from the 2003 series worked better because it was more loosely adapted and gave the characters a bit more depth and, I don't know, made them more interesting, especially in regards to the homunculi, than it did in the manga. And thus, when Brotherhood hit, it felt, in certain parts, a bit more flat than the old adaptation. So, you know, you can, if you know what you're doing, you can improve on the manga material when you adapt it into anime just by using the advantages that medium has. But you also have to be aware of the, you know, the shortcomings of that medium and stuff that doesn't work. And pacing is one of the main things. You can flip through a manga page in no time, and, you know, you can just, you know, you can get through it pretty quickly. Even there are long stretch of talking, but if you got this stuff in anime, you know, you got to listen to those people talk, and you can't get through it that quickly. So, yeah, that's one of the things that, you know, My Hero Academia could have done better to bring this increasingly long rant to an end. That also suffers from bad pacing. That is one of the things that My Hero Academia could have done better. Just, you know, maybe, I don't know, leave out some of the dialogue. Maybe, I don't know, just, you know, quicken some of the fight scenes. Let the visuals speak for themselves, not explain everything. And maybe take out some of the not as important stuff. It just, in certain part, it shows. Like you said, you noticed it. So I assume what was the most, I don't know, what was the most egregious scene in that regard? Like where did it jump out at you that this is moving too slow? This very moment should be faster, or this scene should be more faster. Can you think of something?
I mean, I guess couple instances where it seemed like that, where Deku's training, that like arc, as it were, it seemed like there were parts that they could have maybe, you know, snapped that along a bit.
The training with All Might.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, they could have done just a simple montage of that. You know, you're right.
Yeah, and then the last few episodes with the series of big fights, it seemed like it was just drawn out the way it was done. I don't know how exactly to describe that.
Yeah, no, that last confrontation reminded me the most of, you know, the other big long running shonen shows we have right now that I mentioned earlier, Naruto and One Piece, as in that you have like these phases where the characters are cornered or something, and, you know, they have to develop a plan on how to escape from that situation. And then they talk and, what can we do? And, well, this guy has this power and you have this power and we can do this and this, and they talk about it, and then you get, you know, short resolution to that scene. There's a lot of build up, you know, that is almost taking so long that, you know, the tension disappears again. It's borderline. It's like very close to that. It doesn't go over the line in that regard. I mean, it doesn't get boring, but it stretches it out, in my opinion. So and, you know, you got like, okay, now we switch to these characters, and now we switch to these characters, instead of staying with these one set of characters, finishing up that particular fight scene, and then moving on to the next group. And the constant switching of characters, you know, slows down the pacing even more so, because you always, you know, have to adjust. Oh, okay, now we're in this group again, this group, and meanwhile, the other thing doesn't move along. nothing happens there. So when we next come back to that, it's still at the same time time frame. So yeah, that happens a lot in One Piece these days, where you got like a bunch of characters, like a giant cast of characters, and during the course of one episode, you switch like between, I don't know, 5 different parties or something, and it just doesn't move along because you're constantly switching between characters and nothing much happens. So yeah, stuff like that. Like I said, My Hero Academia is not as bad as those other two in that regard, but I really hope for possible coming seasons they quicken up the pace. Maybe wait a bit longer until there's more manga material, or just in general maybe decide to quicken up the pace a bit. But we'll see. I still have high hopes, and like I said, it's not that bad. It's, I know
it's still a great time.
Yeah, exactly. It's still a great time. But like you noticed, like you heard, we both noticed it. Other people, I have seen reviews that basically mentioned the same thing. That said, yeah, it's a cool show, but it's a bit slow. So yeah.
Maybe the reason why they haven't announced a date for the second season is because they are waiting on more material, kind of like what is going on with Attack on Titan.
Yeah, but hey, they have announced that a second season is coming. At least that we know.
Yeah, it's true.
No
get hype, get hype.
Yeah, I'm super hype. I mean, we don't know when it's coming yet, but still, of course, more Hero Academia, yes. But yeah, we haven't talked about any characters besides Deku yet, so let's do that, because this show has a lot of great characters with sometimes really weird and creative powers. It's really interesting because with all of the allusions to Western superheroes you can maybe find in there, the power set of the characters feels really Japanese. It's like, yeah, this is shit that only manga people can come up with. Like, this is, you wouldn't find that in a DC or Marvel comics. These powers are fucking out there, or these characters. I think the most mainstream one is All Might, which is like this rather classic super strong hero type. But then we have also, for example, Suyu, who is the most deadpan frog girl you will ever see on screen.
Oh, I love her so much.
She is fantastic. She's probably my favorite character in the show. Her just like stone face reaction to everything is amazing. Even the most outrageous statements. I love her. She's fantastic. Other great female character in the show is Ochako, who can basically reduce her own gravity and that of other things to 0, or gradually like remove it. That's a really interesting power. We have Tenya Lida, get it, who is a cyborg, I think. Is he one?
I don't think so. I think he just has, superhuman speed is all, and just that suit,
Yeah, he grows these cybernetic exhaust pores from his body that give him super speed. So I don't know if that is organic or if he like got enhancements. I think he's from a family of superheroes, right? So it's like basically I thought he was like part of this company and they maybe developed enhancing stuff for superheroes. But that wouldn't make sense because in this universe all superhero powers come natural. Otherwise that whole Quirks thing wouldn't make much sense. So I don't know. Maybe those things enhance his given super speed power or something. But yeah, it looks weird.
I mean, I guess you could say the same as something like, I don't know, Wolverine. He grows knives out of his hands. So, I mean,
Yeah, but that adamantium didn't grow with it. That was applied by a government experiment. So I guess, yeah, maybe Lida is the same. Maybe he has like super speed powers, but those get enhanced by cybernetic enhancement or something.
Yeah. Maybe that will be more fully explained in due time.
Yeah, but he's a fun character. He's like the super uptight, I don't know, super student guy who's like, we have to do everything in order. And of course that doesn't work. But yeah, he's fun. He could have easily turned out to be the asshole of the show, but he's very endearing and I like him quite a lot. Mostly because he's flustered very often and doesn't know what to do. He's like the super straight man, and it doesn't work out for him. Anyway, there's one of their teachers of the main characters, Shota Aizawa, whose superhero nickname is Eraserhead, who is pretty much, going back to Naruto, a carbon copy of Kakashi. He has like this very, I don't know, laid back attitude, this oh shucks face, with these I don't know, a bit sleepy eyes. That's what it looks like. He very much reminded me of Kakashi. Like his whole attitude, his look, everything. All he needed was like I don't know, a mask in front of his mouth.
He did have that scarf, didn't he?
Yeah, and goggles.
So then there you go.
Also, his power also lies in his eyes, because he can erase people's powers with them, by looking at them. If I'm not mistaken, that was his power. So Kakashi is something similar too. So I wonder if that was the inspiration here. Wouldn't be surprised. And another one important character is Midoriya's childhood frenemy, asshole. I don't know, Bakugo. Who has exploding powers. He basically can blow up everything he touches, I think.
I think it's more that he can make explosions in his hands.
Or something like that, yes. And he has this costume that is looks like he, got stuck in a grenade or something. And his hair is the explosion. It looks fun. It's a fun design. The show has a lot of fun designs, just in terms of costumes and the characters themselves. There's this one guy, I forgot his name, that has is half, when he's powered up, half of his body is turned into ice, and he also has heat powers. And you would think that the non-ice part of his body would dish out the heat. But actually, it's the other way around. Like, the ice part of his body gives off the heat, and the non-ice part of his body gives out the freezing powers. So, I don't know why, but that was super interesting. It was like a neat quirk. Yes.
A little bit of a swerve.
Yeah, it was fun. And yeah, there are a bunch of other cool designs and weird-ass powers in the show that I didn't see coming. It was like, oh yeah, I want to know more about these characters, because that's an interesting power. Except for that weird buffoon who has this belly laser. He's a weird one, but he's also like
special case.
Yeah, he's the running gag of the show. So anyway, because nobody takes him seriously or cares for anything he has to say, but they also don't make fun of him, so that's nice. But yeah, going back to Bakugo, he is a ginormous asshole. He's the one who gave Midoriya the nickname Deku, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Basically has been bullying him for his entire childhood because he suffers from severe inferiority complexes and megalomania on the other side. And he I'm gonna be the best of all of them. I'm gonna be a superhero and better than you all. And because of one certain situation that I won't spoil, he focuses all of his anger about his own shortcomings on Midoriya, and like I said, bullies him anytime he can. And of course, he is obviously not happy with Midoriya attempting to enter Hero High School without having any power, because he thinks, Deku is beneath him, right? He is subpar, and he's an eyesore. And I think their dynamic is probably most interesting in the show, because you kind of want to see Midoriya kicking Bakugo's ass in every possible way. But I'm not sure they're taking their relationship into that direction. What would you say?
Yeah, I don't want to explicitly see. I want to see Bakugo come back around rather than get his ass beat by Midoriya.
Oh, in the beginning, it's hard, because they're really going out of their way to painting him as the ultimate asshole in the beginning. I can understand where he's coming from, but that doesn't give him the right to be this giant piece of shit. In every regard, he deserves a fucking beating by the main character, beating some sense into him, because he doesn't get it.
Yeah, and maybe that'll work if that he'll lose that one time and he'll suddenly realize, what am I doing? Why am I acting this way? Sort of thing.
Well, but like you said, they're also like they're already like hinting at him coming around and, seeing that, things are not as they seem, and, people can become powerful that who you didn't expect to turn out that way and everything. So, you better deal with that, boyo. And I wonder if he will be. This could go either way. Like, he could become like a reluctant friend to Midoriya in the end, and it could become like I don't know, Naruto Sasuke dynamic or something, or or he could become a full on villain. That could also happen. Like if he like gets so antagonized by how Deku advances, and obviously Midoriya is gonna be like this main superhero star of the show eventually. Like he's gonna be the strongest one and everything. And I wonder if Bakugo can't deal with that, if he will become a full-fledged villain, or if there will be, if he will learn to deal with, his inferiority complex and everything, and his shitty attitude, and turn it around. That will be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to that. I hope the series, does something with that very quickly and doesn't linger too long on the on their current dynamic. I mean, I like it. It's interesting, but more because of its potential than where it is right now. So I hope they do something in the future. Maybe the mangaka already has. Like I'm not reading the manga, so maybe we'll see something in the next season in that regard. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
So any character you want to highlight that I didn't mention?
Well, you touched on so many, you didn't leave me with much.
I'm sorry. I love almost every character in the show. I can't.
Yeah, and I mean that's the problem. How do you pick a favorite out of all of your children?
Well, if you had to, who would be your favorite in the show? I mean, I already said that Tsuyu is probably mine. Does it come for you as well, or?
I mean, I like her a lot, and I like Ochako a lot. I mean, honestly, I think I probably would pick Midoriya as my favorite, just because, he has the can-do, want-to-do attitude that I just really like that a lot.
Which is very much the spirit of the show. Like,
yeah.
It's all about that you can attitude.
That underdog story. That
yes.
It's so common in manga and anime, but it's still so appealing.
Yeah, and that's also the thing. Of course, yeah, right on the mark. It is a very common story, but the way how it's realized in this show is top notch. Slight pacing issues aside, we already talked about that at length. This show just uses like these standard formulas and story setups and makes the best of it that it can do, and gives you the most interesting cast of characters to work with, and great fight scenes, and just everything that you want to see. Like I said, in kind of shown an action show with a setup like that, and just I don't know, it's just really well realized. It's like, yeah, this is top notch. This is cutting edge in terms of making a good, enjoyable action anime, and pretty much every scene has the right theme, the right meaning, the highlights, the scenes that are important are highlighted through very well through the music, through the animation, and everything that has to look good looks good. Everything that needs to be well directed is well directed. It's a great package, just overall. And I guess that's why it resonated so well with both of us. Do you want to mention anything about the voice cast while we're at it, or while we're at the character section, or because after that I probably got to wrap it up.
Other than the fact, like, it's got a million big voices in it.
it should be. I mean, given how popular the manga is, they probably anticipated that and was like, yeah.
Yeah, and we've got probably some of the bigger name voices that we have in here, like Kenta Miyake is the voice of All Might, who we both know as Mohammed Abdul from JoJo's.
Yes.
Bakugo is voiced by Nobuhiko Okamoto, another one of our favorites. And he kind of rechannels Accelerator for this role quite a bit, I'd say.
He feels even more angry than Accelerator, though.
Yeah, but, you know, he gets, like, the screamy part of Accelerator out there.
Yes. Hey, Accelerator, if I'm not mistaken, later turned around as well, so maybe that's a slight hint to what happens to Bakugo.
I mean, he kind of does, sort of, not really 100%, but, you know.
Doesn't he, like, take at least care of that weird lowly Miyaka clone or something?
Yeah, I mean, he does look after Last Order, so.
Yeah. So
but I'm still pretty sure that, given the chance, he would still punch Toma out.
Probably. He's an asshole with a heart of gold. We'll see if Bakugo has that heart of gold, I guess.
Tsuyu, since we talked about her at length, was voiced by Aoi Yuki, who's also been in about a million billion different things.
Oh, yeah.
We would probably be able to pick her out as Hibiki from Symphogear.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then we've got...
But this is completely different from her role in Symphogear, though, because...
It's much more subdued in tone.
Yeah, Hibiki is a very energetic person, and, is singing a lot. I can't even imagine what Tsuyu would sound like if she was starting to sing. But yeah, Tsuyu has this, like, very, I don't know, kooky voice that is, like, really, I don't know, I wouldn't say cartoony, but it's like... It's very... It doesn't sound like a frog, obviously not, but she's trying to make it sound like not necessarily all human and make it a bit weird. Like, okay, this is weird, and then add to that like the deadpan attitude of the character. It's a really neat and unique performance, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think the last role we'll talk about before I just kind of run through other big names on the list in a quick manner is Midoriya is voiced by Daiki Yamashita, who I'm not super familiar with him, but apparently one of his big claims to fame is that he's a Sakamichi Onoda from Yowamushi Pedal.
Oh yeah, that's the main character.
Yeah, it's another show that I have only a cursory familiarity.
Well, John, since you don't have any other anime to watch, I highly recommend you catch up on Yowamushi Pedal.
Now, who said that?
Only me. But yeah, wait, who is he voicing on this show?
He's Midoriya in
Oh, right.
Hero.
Yeah, those voices are pretty comparable. Like, even down to the character. I wonder if that is typecasting, because Onoda is, just in terms of attitude, almost, not the same as Midoriya. I would say Midoriya is a bit more grounded. Onoda is like this, I don't know, I love anime, and I fucking love the theme song of that one show I'm watching, and I'm singing it all the time while I'm riding my bike. Also, I would like to ride my bike with my friends. That's the best thing that happened to me. But yeah, he's also like, he has this like very, I don't know, sunny and I can do this attitude. So in that regard, he's very similar to Midoriya. So yeah, I wonder. But yeah, that voice fits very well. If you think that works for Onoda, that also works for Midoriya.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And just a quick rundown of some other big names so we don't extend this segment longer than it needs to be.
Yeah.
We have Ayane Sakura, Kaito Ishikawa, Yuki Kaji, Eri Kitamura, Junichi Soabe, Kari Nazuka, Koki Uchiyama, and a few other names in there as well. But those are some of the bigger ones that might be more recognizable.
Okay. Yeah, great cast, adding to the otherwise also great production value of the show. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We have sung the show's praises long enough, quickly discussed its probably only shortcoming, which is its pacing. And, well, no, we didn't discuss that quickly. I ranted on for hours on end. Anyway, if you have listened to the previous episodes of the show, you're used to that by now, I assume. Anyway, we will definitely return to the show again with a review of the second season whenever that is airing. I think. Pretty sure about that. I enjoyed every second of the show. I want to see where our heroes go, what the actual goal of the villains is, how the relationship between Midoriya and Bakugo will develop, all that good stuff. Yeah. Like I said, I guess we'll get to see that because they already announced the second season. John, what would you like most to see the most from the second season? What are you looking forward to the most?
I guess, like you said, I want to know more what the villains are up to. I mean, I think we kind of have an idea of what it is, but now that one of their big trumps is out the window, how are they going to handle that?
Literally out of the window. Well put.
Out of the window and out of the atmosphere.
Yeah. Oh, that scene was amazing. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know if it will jump straight into the next big story arc or if we'll get a full season of training thing. That's something that happened pretty much with Shogeki no Soma at the end of this current season. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, definitely looking forward to it. In terms of recommending the show to you people, if you like classic shonen action series, please watch My Hero Academia. It's one of the best I've seen, even though we have only 30 episodes to go on, but I'm willing to go out on a limb right now, so there you go. If you like superhero stuff, please watch My Hero Academia. If you like a very colorful show with a great, varied, and mostly sympathetic fuck you Bakugo cast of characters and a really nice optimistic atmosphere, please watch My Hero Academia. It's a great time.
I've actually already recommended it to a couple of friends myself, so got to spread the word, spread the love on it.
Before we go though, we're gonna try something that John just came up with on the fly, and I think it's a good idea. We're gonna just quickly pick our favorite show of this review season that we did. And yeah, John, what was your favorite?
I think it probably wouldn't go without a surprise for me to put My Hero Academia at the top of this season. There were other great stuff, like, I enjoyed how goofy Luluko was, and just how nice and relaxing Flying Witch was, but My Hero Academia, it edged those two out.
Yeah, well, for me, it's a tough pick, because I really like My Hero Academia, but I also loved Ushio and Tora Season 2. Just, if I had to pick one anime, it's really tough, and I probably would give it to Ushio and Tora Season 2, because that was such a fantastic finale to a great action shonen show. And if those two had to battle it out, those two shows, I wouldn't know how to pick a winner, actually. And since My Hero Academia is coming back, and I see room for improvement there, just in terms of pacing, Ushio and Tora Season 2 was pretty much perfect for me. I didn't have anything I think I would have, changed in that. So I think that would be the winner for me this time around. And My Hero Academia, a very close second. So yeah, I guess there you have it, folks. Those are our favorite shows of of spring season 2016. And we're gonna be back in 2 weeks, hopefully, with our sneak peek for fall season 2016 and our first review or reviews for summer season 2016. And yeah,
what are they gonna be?
Yeah, well, we'll see. So yeah, guess we'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and go and watch My Hero Academia.
Just do it, though. You got nothing to lose. Do it.
And that is a wrap on the 16th episode of Anime Brain Freeze. All the music in our show is from the Double Dragon Neon soundtrack by the amazing Jake Kaufman. Please go to vrt.bandcamp.com and check out his awesome work. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and animebrainfreeze.com. Leave us a comment anywhere you like, or send us an email to animebrainfreeze@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you had a good time, and please join us again on our next show. Adios.
Remember, everyone, to always go beyond plus ultra!